Writing lyrics is perhaps the most mysterious and difficult part of the songwriting process. I can't tell you how many times I've sat at the piano with the old notebook and pen, wrote down a couple of lines and thought to myself, well, this sucks. It's cringe, it's boring, it's flat, it doesn't do what I want it to do. Writing lyrics is uniquely challenging. If I'm writing a chord progression or a melody and I'm using the standard piano, I only have 12 notes to work with, and chances are I'm not using all 12 of them at any given time. So I'm a lot more restricted versus when I'm writing lyrics where I have the entire English language at my disposal. Also, it's not entirely clear what makes a good lyric versus a bad lyric. I mean, if I'm writing a chord progression or a melody and there's a chord I don't like or the melody doesn't go quite where I want it to go, I'm going to immediately know and say that sucks, I'm gonna change it. But with lyrics, I often find myself second guessing. Like, is this line good? Does it suck? Like, I don't know. Lyric writing is hard. I've written a lot of songs over the years, and I would say that about 95% of them suck. The lyrics are not good. But through many years of trial and error, I have learned a lot about lyric writing. And today, I'm going to tell you 3 tips to help you improve yours. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Jamashi. We discuss all things music theory and audio production. So if you're into that, like, subscribe, etc. And without further ado, 3 tips to improve your lyric writing. Tip number 1, avoid prosodic dissonance. Music is great because there really aren't any rules. You know, you can kind of do whatever you want. This is the closest thing there is to a rule, in my opinion. When you use prosodic dissonance, it almost never sounds good and almost always sounds bad. So I would say avoid it at all costs. But first, what is it? Prosodic dissonance refers to the discrepancy between the stress pattern given to a lyrical phrase by the melody and the expected stress pattern of that phrase based on how it's actually spoken. The flow of speech and the flow of music both depend on stress patterns. If those 2 patterns disagree with one another, then we have some problems. English, as it happens, is a very stressful language. The flow comes from stress patterns. Altering the stress pattern within a word can totally change its meaning. I project that this project will be successful. I object to that object. I am content making content. Additionally, the stress of a word within a sentence can change the meaning of that sentence. I never said your lyrics suck. 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 Stress. The flow of your speech is determined by where you place the stress. If the stress is not in the place you expect it to be, sounds pretty weird. You want the rhythm of the melody to agree with the innate rhythm of the lyric. Let me give you some examples to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So if we take a simple 4/4 pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The stress is on 1 and 3. Those are the strong beats. So the rhythm of my lyric should agree with the rhythm of this time signature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want you to be there when I am going to the bathroom. Great. Now see what happens if we alter that and place the stress of that lyric on 2 and 4 instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I don't want you to be there when I am going to the bathroom. Absolutely not. Going? Bathroom? Like, no. Absolutely not. Some other common rhythms you'll find are the tresillo, the, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You know it. Let's create a lyric that matches that flow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Give me a second to breathe. Give me a second to breathe. Right? The pattern, the stress pattern of that phrase is very congruent with that rhythm. Now, I'll give you an example of something that is prosodically dissonant and doesn't sound as good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I don't understand what's wrong. I don't understand what's wrong. understand. Awful. Despicable. Another common syncopation pattern you'll find in music is your, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4. Very common. You'll hear that in a lot of music. So, let's see something that'll go well with that. I wrote it down. I'm not making this up on the fly. Just, the illusion's shattered. I know. But yeah, I'm not improvising. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4. Something's in the water. I feel it. It's taking over me. Something's in the water. I feel it. It's taking over me. Perfect. Beautiful. Right? Now here's a bad example. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4. Your blue eyes are the ocean. Help me now. I'm falling in love. Your blue eyes are the ocean. Help me now. I'm falling in love. That sucks. Always avoid prosodic dissonance. But the good news is that you can fix your phrases as you go along. If you discover oh, I've written something that's prosodically dissonant, what do I do now? You can actually fix it by changing around some of the words in the phrase without really altering the overall meaning of the sentence. So let me give you an example, right? Here's a phrase that is prosodically dissonant. I am the door that you open when you are all alone. Open. Dissonant, right? We can fix that by altering some of the words in the phrase. So here's a fixed version of that. I am the door you open when you are all alone. I am the door you open when you are all alone. See, we didn't change the meaning of what I was trying to say. We just kind of rearranged the words a little bit, so now we're saying open like how it's actually pronounced. Another way to fix it would be something like this. I am the door that you open when you are all alone. I am the door that you open when you are all alone. Once again, we're saying open, not open, right? We fix the prosodic dissonance without changing what I'm trying to say. Tip number 2 has to do with precision and impact. What am I talking about? Well, impact is very intuitive. It is the emotional impact of what you're writing. Something that's low impact is cringe. It's boring. It's flat. Something that's high impact is moving and emotional. Precision refers to the ability of language to take an idea that's in my head and transport it to yours with as little degradation as possible. Conversational speech is highly precise by nature. A conversation functions best with efficient transport of ideas between speakers. If I'm having a conversation with you, the idea that occurs in my head as a result of your speech is almost 100% of the time the exact same idea that occurred in your head, provided, of course, that we're both proficient in the language we're speaking. So, conversational speech, the goal of conversational speech is to be as precise as possible. But, importantly, this is not the goal of songwriting. And this is not something that's intuitive at first. You may be thinking, oh, I feel something, I want to convey a message, therefore I need to be as precise as possible so that that idea is transmitted to the listener. But, this is not how it works in practice. Allow me to show you a graph. Impact and precision display a biphasic relationship. As precision increases, impact increases as well until you reach this inflection point wherein increasing precision actually decreases impact. Thus, you want your song to be in this zone of maximum impact, this sweet spot of precision that results in the highest emotional impact, the apex of this curve. If your lyrics are too precise, you'll start to wander into the please feel sad now area, called such because you're basically telling your listener, hey, this is the sad part, please feel sad now. In other words, if your lyrics are too precise, you're basically just telling your listener exactly how to feel and exactly what's going on, and leave nothing to their imagination. And if you tell the listener how to feel, they're not gonna feel anything. You need to leave something to the imagination to elicit an emotional impact. Conversely, if your lyrics are too imprecise and too vague, you'll fall into the bleep blap blorp area, called such because you're basically just offering this bizarre, meaningless word salad. There's no story, there's nothing for the listener to latch onto. You're basically just handing them a big pile of words that mean nothing and that elicit no emotional impact. Thus, when you're writing lyrics, you want to make sure that you're always above the Lou Reed line and in this zone of maximum impact. In my opinion, Lou Reed was one of the greatest songwriters of all time. He always knew how to find this balance between lyrics that had a story and that had something to latch onto, but were also ambiguous enough to leave something to your imagination and elicit this really profound emotional experience. If I could give you one piece of advice to help you stay in this zone of maximum impact, I would say use metaphors. Metaphors, metaphors, metaphors. They are the surefire way to stay in this sweet spot. Think about Shakespeare. He says, "But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun." He doesn't say Juliet is like the sun. He doesn't say Juliet is as bright as the sun. He doesn't say, "Oh my God, Juliet makes me feel so in love." And God, he does not say, "I am so in love with Juliet." No, he doesn't say that. He says Juliet is the sun. It's not too vague. The meaning of the phrase is clear, but the language used is ambiguous enough. It leaves enough to the listener's imagination such that they can feel what Romeo is feeling. That's the beauty of metaphor. Keeps you in the sweet spot, always keeps you above the Lou Reed line. And my last tip for today, do not be afraid to utilize repetition. A wise man once said that repetition legitimizes, and it's as true for lyric writing as it is for writing melodies and chord progressions. In this case, lyrics can be made far more impactful and moving with the repetition of a key word or phrase. A word or phrase which, on its own, doesn't really carry much weight, but which becomes more and more impactful through its repeated occurrence. And the best way to utilize this, in my opinion, is where the rhyme scheme exists sort of within the framework of the repetition, almost as though the rhyme scheme is subordinate to the repetition. I'm going to give you 3 examples of some songs which I feel like do this very well, and which I personally enjoy very much. We have Lou Reed's "How Do You Think It Feels?" We have the devastating "How Long" from the Broadway musical Hadestown. And we have Kendrick Lamar's "DNA." And that wraps up my 3 tips to improve your lyric writing. Guys, writing lyrics is hard, but it's also very important. It is the entry point for the listener, and it's ultimately how they connect with your music, and it can be the make or break between a really bad song and a really great song. So it is vital, it is imperative that we all write lyrics that don't suck, that are moving, impactful. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.